All right, let's get right into it. If you work in marketing, if you run a website, if you rely on Google for, well, anything, you need to listen up. Because the rulebook for SEO, it's been completely torn up and set on fire. Seriously, everything that worked last year or even last month is pretty much useless now. This isn't some prediction. This is what's happening right now. And this is your survival guide.
I want you to look at this number, 58.5%. Burn it into your brain. This one single statistic explains the entire crisis we are all facing. So what is it?
That's the percentage of searches in the US that end without a single click to any website. According to SEMrush data from this past March, this is our reality. For the first time in history, the majority of Google searches end on Google. All that traffic you're trying to get, it's disappearing before it even gets a chance to find you.
So let's just break down what this new reality actually looks like. And I'm not talking about small tweaks here. This is a fundamental, ground-up shift in how search works, and frankly, who it works for.
And this chart really tells the whole story, doesn't it? Only about 40% of searches actually result in an organic click. The rest? Poof, gone. See, Google isn't really a search engine anymore. It's an answer engine, and it's keeping the audience for itself. To put it simply, Google keeps the traffic, and you get the crumbs.
So let's dig into that a little deeper. In this next section, we're going to look at the exact weapons Google is using to keep people on its own sites. And we have to start with the biggest one of all, AI.
Wow. Yeah, this chart lays out the damage perfectly. Google's new AI overviews are absolutely crushing organic clicks. You know all those how-to guides and articles you've spent years building? That informational content has seen a staggering 43% drop in clicks. Even searches for things to buy are down 18%. Why? Because the AI just answers the question right there on the page, so people have no reason to click on your link.
Okay, so here's the deal. You can't fight it. You have to adapt. The new goal isn't just to rank #1, it's to get cited by the AI. And here's the playbook. First, you have to be in the top 20 results, period. 97% of AI citations come from there. Second, structure your content like a machine would want it. Q&A sections, numbered lists, and get this, be concise. The ideal answer length is now around 1,600 characters. That's a 70% drop from last year. Brevity is everything.
Now, if you're wondering who is winning in this new world, just look at this. Reddit threads show up on page 1 for 82% of searches. Your blog? Maybe 3%. How is that possible? Well, Google paid Reddit $60 million to use its content to train its AI. This is what we call Parasite SEO. You're leveraging a huge, trusted domain to rank your own stuff. It's a powerful strategy, for sure.
Which brings us to our third section. Since the entire game has been turned on its head, the stuff we create, our content, it has to change in a big way. The old tactics aren't just ineffective anymore, they're actually starting to hurt you.
This slide shows probably the single biggest mental shift you need to make. We have to stop thinking about keywords and start thinking about entities. The old way was just stuffing a page with a phrase like SEO Agency Paris. The new way is to teach Google that your brand is an entity that provides the entity of SEO services in the location entity of Paris. You see, it's about building connections and relationships, not just matching words on a page.
And how does Google do this? It's all thanks to something called the knowledge graph. You can think of it like Google's brain. It doesn't just scan for text, it actually understands how things are connected. Your job now is to get your brand, your expertise, your products written into this brain as established facts.
So if Google is an AI, you might be thinking, shouldn't we just use AI to create all our content? Fight fire with fire? Well, someone ran a massive 6-month test on 500 pages to find out. They split the pages into 3 groups, one with pure AI content, a second with a 50-50 mix of AI and human editing, and a third with 100% human-written stuff. The results were pretty shocking.
Just look at this. The purely AI-generated content, its traffic plummeted by 73%. Even the content that had a human edit it still dropped by 31%. But the 100% human content, the stuff that shows real experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust, or E-E-A-T, its traffic grew by a massive 41%. The message could not be any clearer. Google is actively penalizing generic AI content and rewarding real human expertise.
Now, creating amazing human-led content is one thing, but you also have to have the technical foundation to back it up. In this section, we're going to cover the essential tech and tools you absolutely need to compete.
73%. Yep, another one of these stark numbers that should make you sit up and pay attention. What do you think this one is?
It's the percentage of top e-commerce websites that are already failing Google's new metric for page speed, interaction to next paint, or INP. See, Google quietly changed the rules of the game for site speed, and it turns out most of the web, especially on mobile, isn't keeping up. A fast mobile site isn't a nice-to-have anymore. It's the price of admission. You cannot win this new war doing things manually. It's just not possible. The scale and the speed required mean you need an automated stack. Trying to do this all by hand in 2025 is a massive, massive competitive disadvantage. Let's look at what that stack should include.
First, you have to automate your technical monitoring. Using tools like Screaming Frog for daily crawls and Content King for real-time alerts means you can get notified about critical issues directly in Slack. This literally turns what used to be a 4-hour audit into a 20-minute check.
Next, your content pipeline has to run at machine speed. You can use tools like Airtable and Zapier to automatically turn your keyword research into super detailed content briefs, and then use something like Surfer SEO to optimize them. We're talking about cutting brief creation time from hours down to just minutes.
And finally, link building. It has to be scaled. Tools like Hunter.io can find email addresses, instantly can manage your outreach campaigns. You can even use ChatGPT to draft your first responses to journalists on platforms like Haro, which lets you respond to 5 times as many opportunities in the same amount of time.
Okay, so we've covered the new reality, the vanishing click, the content that actually works, and the tech you need to pull it all off. Let's bring it all together and figure out your immediate next move. The core message here is really simple. Adapt, or you will become invisible.
This table right here, this is your new strategic map. The game is no longer keyword optimization. It's generative engine optimization. We're not just chasing rankings anymore. We're fighting to get cited by an AI. We're choosing demonstrable human experience over just pumping out tons of content. And we are replacing slow, manual tasks with scaled automation. This is the playbook.
And that leaves us with one last really crucial question. This is the question you need to go back and ask your team today. After everything we've just gone through, you have to ask yourselves, is our brand an entity that Google truly understands? Or is it just a collection of keywords waiting to be replaced by an AI? The answer to that question will determine your future.